I am a Liberian warrior. I stand for truth and justice, never turning back from troubles brewing anywhere. I am a Liberian. I stand on grounds of integrity. I stand on truth and justice. I stand on liberty for all mankind. In constitutional democracy, I am a Liberian. I stand on solid ground, never wavering, never checking out. I am a Liberian. I am a warrior, an ancient warrior, to free the homeland. I am a Liberian, proud and full of
Hello, and welcome to the Pepperbird Magazine. Did you know that the Pepperbird Magazine has been in existence for over 25 years, and we're still going strong? I invite you to take an ad on our internet magazine, which is very, very useful during COVID days. So please, give us a call. We'll come and have a quick chat with you and video you and your business. Look at the number below.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Tony Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today is April 26, 2021. We rise to changes in our communities, changes in our lives. Our leaders are beginning to stand up, speak out, rebuke the Weah government, and express the desires for eminent change within the Liberian society. I listened to Senator Darius Dillon yesterday on Spoon TV when he challenged Spoon, their so-called CEO, and their whole team, and especially Mr. Keith Hassan. Mr. Keith Hassan, who was backed by Deputy Minister Isaac Doe, another panel member of the show. Because the day before yesterday or sometime thereafter, Keith Hassan on the Spoon TV told us that Darius Dillon and Liberty Party officials had demanded $2 million before signing for the printing of the new $48 billion. So we're asking for whether it was true or not. Their CEO, the man they call CEO on that show, asked him whether it was true or not. Ben Sanvi asked him the same question. He said, Dr. Dillon is coming tomorrow. Will you have proof on your allegation or accusation? He said, yes, I got evidence. He said, because if you don't have evidence, we have to, he said, remove me from the show or something like that. He said, if I don't bring the evidence, remove me from the show. And I wonder, I said, I know Keith had something from small. And it hasn't changed. Many of these guys, I don't want to say all, many of these guys in government from around the Monrovia era that grew up in Monrovia, I know them. I know them. As soon as I see their faces, I said, no, this man can't make it. I knew this man growing up. Because I play basketball. I play everywhere. We play in the swamp. We play in the ghetto. We play on the stadium. We play on the national stage. We played everywhere. So I knew most of the people who thought they were influential from kids and thought they were speaking out on different issues and things like that. There's some of the leaders today, Akarius Gray and all of them. I know all the boys. So I'm looking at them and I say, man, these are guys leading Liberia today, big shots, calling the shots. And some of these people are not competent. Even with degrees, they're not competent. Look at all Dr. George Weah. George Weah not competent. And if y'all don't know it, then there's a problem with all of y'all in Liberia. George Weah can't read, he can't write, he can't speak English. That's a failure to communicate. He can't communicate with us. So everything he's doing, he's being pampered, propped up by other people. And we can't have a leadership like that. When our leader can't express himself, everywhere he goes, he got to carry his team, or liars, writers, speakers. Put that in his ear to be telling him, oh, speak this and speak that. Yeah, when they tell him priority, he's a prioritize. So that's the problem they have with it, man. They tell you one word, he pronounces the other word. So we can't help him with that. But you know, that's how bad our country is. It's gone to the extent now that even Senator Darius Dillon calling the man dummy, calling the CDC gangs, Weah and his gangs. So where is our country going? Where are we going? I'm part of my lesson. Let's start. Now, topics for today are Liberians in the Ivory Coast safe? Is George Weah healthy? And 3, Liberia's legislature. We are here, everybody talking about, I'm on my first topic now, are Liberians safe in the Ivory Coast? Or Liberian in the Ivory Coast safe? I hear everybody talking about the Ivory Coast, about how we have mercenaries, 3 guys went into Ivory Coast when they attacked one of the military bases, said they're planning coup. According to Front Page Africa, it was a distraction. But what was the other part of the distraction? If they say it was a distraction and it was a coup, 3 people went and hit a barracks carrying Liberian ID card, driver licenses, and voting cards, all kind of documents on them. When they hit this barracks, and they were supposed to be a part of a distraction, the coup attempt against Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara. I've been trying to pronounce his name the right way because somebody say Ouattara, but I knew Ouattara. I'm trying to pronounce the O. The French name is Ouattara. Alassane. So they say they want to overthrow Alassane. So Alassane is still suffering from the past attempt by the former president Laurent Gbagbo, who refused to relinquish power to Ottawa. So I think they started in 2012 between the two of them. And after Gbagbo decided not to turn over the presidency, this thing almost led to a coup. People were killed, 3,000 people killed. It took 6 months of violence to quell all the problem. Liberians joined this thing. Several thousands of Liberians joined the thing for both sides. Mercenaries, paid soldiers. So our people have been involved in all of these neighboring conflicts. Sierra Leone, under Charles Taylor. Now, we in Ivory Coast. I don't know whether they set these 3 guys up and told them to carry all your documents and go attack. So there's conflict now between our country and Ivory Coast. Now George Weah government trying to fix everything up. You know what they did. I think they acknowledge, they condemn the war, they condemn the actions of the Liberian mercenaries, and they're doing everything to help that government catch all the people involved in this insurrection. All the Liberian mercenaries, all the Liberian people that cross the borders, and some on Liberian border side, because that what happened during the 2012 and 2017. Something else happened in 2017 with the same situation. People training young kids across the border in Liberia. So all these things been causing problems. There was another problem in 2017, I think, under Ellen Johnson. Yes, Ellen Johnson was there at that time when she tried to prosecute some of the people. And she released 1 or 2 of them. And they came from Grand Juda County. She put these people in jail. I don't know what were the circumstances with their relatives and other people in Grand Juda County, in the neighboring county. But now, by some reason, these people have gotten out of jail. The Nima people, the Grand Juda people pissed off again. My only concern is, are our Liberian people safe in Ivory Coast? with all this accusation against the Liberian mercenaries and people trying to participate in the war or conflict in the Ivory Coast, still, are our people safe? We need some information on that. So Liberian people, all our podcasters and news reporters from Liberia coming out, they're not talking about our people in Ivory Coast. They're only talking about how George Weah government, whether they involved or not, whether they're right or wrong for condemning the Liberian mercenaries. We don't know that. But all of this is putting our country and our people's safety at risk. Who's going to be fighting for our poor people? Who's going to be there for our suffering people in the Ivory Coast if any conflict breaks up and Liberia is involved? And you know they go after our people in those places. So who will protect our people? We deserve better than this, man. What happened to ECOWAS? What happened to the African Union? What's the purpose of the organizations if our wars and disputes cannot be resolved locally? What happened again? We're waiting for international war crime court to come for that other war, for the other conflict in the Ivory Coast? Is that how Africa going to be run? Every disturbance, we can't resolve it with our own African strengths. We got to be calling foreigners to come into Africa to resolve our wars and things still. What is the purpose of the AU? What is the purpose of the ECOWAS? These people have not served their purposes since they've been founded. ECOWAS is not a military organization. That's the AU's job. ECOWAS is supposed to be setting up plans for the economic prosperity of African nations in West Africa. All along the plain. So where does West Africa end? Guinea? Nigeria? Check on your map. So it comes from one area all the way to the other area. From the middle of Africa to the west. So from middle of Africa all the way to the Seychelles. That's West Africa. That's the job of ECOWAS now. To seek economic prosperities of all those countries together in a unified form. So from what we gather, we have a mean of exposing it, a free market where all African nations can benefit from, can bargain, can set up a little market like the stock market, where we trade our stuff across the South African region into other places. So if ECOWAS now has become the military arm for protecting West African nation, and it cannot meet its own that responsibility, because that's not its purpose. That's not its purpose. So with our proper planning, we cannot have a continental OAU or independent army of African states together. One standing army of various African states under the African Union to enforce peace and stability in bellicose nations and dictators who want to kill their people. We got to monitor all that from the OAU and the AU, and if y'all want to do it from the ECOWAS, do it. But y'all got to define what the ECOWAS is now. Because who's leading the economic prosperity and direction of African nations? Everything is war, stealing. And it's not benefiting us. It's not taking us to better planes of progress and advancement, of education, upliftment, discipline, organization, real service to our country and people. How long will we be on this path? Because every time this thing happens, our people are put in positions of fear, position of apprehension. They don't know what's going to happen, what the next moves are going to be. If they lose everything, how will they survive? Now look at in some parts of Liberia, how people losing their properties and things. People returning from their home, from abroad, they want their properties. Government has never been thinking, we don't have a government that's far-sighted, foresighted. We don't have that kind of government. We have a government that reacts to things. They're not proactive. That means they don't think ahead, expecting things that they don't see, but are mature and professional enough to know that even though they don't see these things happening now, they have to anticipate them, because when Liberians start returning, things will change. The dimension of our development and progress will change, especially Liberians returning with some sense of national development. Instead of nimba, basso, kipma. That mentality can save us. We have to have mature Liberians conscious of the significance of working together from all areas of Liberia. And we can't achieve that until all of us reach a level of education and competence and foresight. Because unless we reach certain level of education to lead our people in a unified form of leadership, there will always be jealousy. It will make it mediocre. There will always be jealousy. There will all be misunderstanding. There will always be arguments. There will all be foolishness. Why? Because we are on the same level of thinking. And some people want to lead, and deception fits in there. How can we deceive these people to follow us? It can't work. It can't work. Our education is important. And as guardians of our people's future, we have to rise and step to the plate that men and women of integrity, men and women of truth, men and women who don't care where the chips may fall. Be punished. And we can only do that if we are men and women and not living with our mothers and fathers, not having that mentality that we can depend on our mind and power to set the stage for our progress and advancement. Because people that talk about them are still our mind and power, and we still wait for them to come back or go back to the way they taught us or live the old way. No, we'll never make it. Because for us to live the old way, we got to recycle people. We got to go back in deception and lies and deceitfulness. And our country will never build physically, spiritually, nor consciously. Because the old ways, although they were better than the ways today, the old ways caused us to get where we are today. So we can't go back to the same old ways. That way anybody coming in to our leadership with that same mentality, there will be a problem. There will be problem, big problem. We need change. But our leaders got to stand up and speak up and be ready. Be ready for anything that comes. But if we're still scared, we're still talking about recycling the old people, going back to the old ways, thinking like Torba and Tottenham. No, I can't go back there. I will tire with that way. No. Those people were false Christians. They have been there so long. They had lost their Christian zeal and ideal and principles that are grounded in the teachings of Jesus Christ. They didn't understand the Bible no more. They didn't understand the changing times. They didn't understand the changing times. They were still used to not wearing African clothes, not identifying with the people, even after they killed our leaders for so long. So this is the trouble now. How we go back to that kind of era? Everybody saying Turbo was the only good leader we had. If Turbo was the only good leader, and we didn't let Turbo finish his term. Turbo died and never finished his term. From the time Turbo got into power, the man had problems. They tried to take his position from him, even before he became president. If it wasn't for Maxi Shield, Turbo would not be president of Liberia. And look at all our institutions, the buildings we got here around town, how they just destroy in Liberia. No money to take over the building and refurbish it. Now most of the official buildings we have, historical buildings, are almost destroyed. The structure been there for so long without any renovation, without any care, just left to the elements. Look at the True Party. Is that building useful? Is it a waste? So all these things we got to reconsider amongst ourselves. Okay? And this is the first part of my lesson. So that moves to my second part right away because we're already in part of it, second part of my lesson. Is George Weah healthy? What is the situation with President George Weah? Let's get the real information of the president's health. Is he healthy? Can he lead us? What's the situation with George Weah? Some people say he got bad kidney. He needs kidneys. That's why all the killings are going on. Some of them had to find kidney for George Weah. Okay? Even a recent man who was killed and burned and disfigured. People claiming that his kidney was taken out and his body was mutilated. Why? Because they didn't want people to know that the main goal was to take his kidney. True, false, we don't know it. Until these things are examined. So what is the health of the president? Why is he wearing sneakers? Is that a fab? Is he having problem with his feet? What is the health of George Weah? Because for the president of Liberia, that is significant. If the president's health is in danger, we need to know. We need to know. And not only through speculation. We need real reporting and answer from the government. And that's why we've got to demand these answers. Why is there now an official report on George Weah's health? Everybody's speculating. Everybody's saying, oh, he involved in this, he involved in that. We need a special report from the government on the health of the president. And that is a necessity. Because he's our president. How can he be leading us and we don't know his condition, his health status, and whether or not he has kidney problems? Is that kidney machine still in Liberia? The one that's in the board for the transplant? All these things, we're not talking about it. And people just speculating. And we need some real answers here. Because if the health of the president is to the point that he needs another kidney and he can't find one, and these people are dying all over our country, and people are speculating that besides ritualistic killing, is being deliberately to find a kidney for the president. We need some good real answers to these. So is George Weah healthy? Yo, please tell us. Okay? Let me take a break now and have a sip of my coffee before I come back to continue my show. We want to know. I am a Liberian warrior. I stand for truth and justice, never turning back from troubles brewing anywhere. I am a Liberian. I stand on grounds of integrity. I stand on truth and justice. I stand on liberty for all mankind. In constitutional democracy, I am a Liberian. I stand on solid ground, never wavering, never cheeking out. I am a Liberian. I am a warrior, an ancient warrior, to free the homeland. I am a Liberian, proud and full of love. Good to be back. My third topic, Liberia's legislature. Oh, lordy, 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 lordy. Lordy, 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 lordy. Liberia legislature. You gotta keep singing the song. It's like a little Liberia legislature. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Because these people are making us shame, man. You're listening to Darius Dillon on Spoon TV. As you were talking about our legislature and the budget, what kind of flimsy budget these ignoramus is sent to the House to approve? and these people been approving it before. They don't send itemized budgets. They send a lump sum budget. Uniform for the state, 1 million. Hair cleaners, 60,000. And they don't break it down. They don't tell us how these products are going to be distributed in the budget. What's going to what? What going to what county? How many? And that's what Darius was talking about. Because if you send a lump sum budget to the legislature to approve for the running of our country, and you just send a lump sum and we don't know where this money is going, it's not clear on the budget, from the budget, how this money is going to be expended. How will we know how these people spend the money? All of that's supposed to come from the budget that Darius Dillon said. Because if our senators are approving this budget and we don't know how this money or the items are going to be distributed, there's a problem. How will people tell that people in their districts, the constituents, in the various senatorial and senate and representative districts, how our budget is to be utilized, what they can expect from the new government, from the education department, from the health department, from the other departments that have interest in the budget, in the budgetary allotments, if you don't break it down. And this is the way our government been running. We're a bunch of people who don't know accounting principle. And you got a legislature of people who just sign anything and everything because they don't know anything. So, despite the fact that Darius Dillon may have flaws himself, we got to be thankful that at least he's in the Senate. That at least he's standing on principles still. And letting people know when things are not right. Because it hurts me, it hurts me when I hear Darius Dillon talking that kind of thing. Then I keep asking myself, where's Commander Chesson? Where are all these old people who should know better and not sitting down there and just signing things? Is Commander Chesson a patriot? All these other people are just patriots to just sit down there and sign everything. We are asking questions. We are seeking the interest of every district in our country and ensuring that our budget reflects how products and things demanded for the people are going to be distributed among them. So when you pick up the budget, you have a clear understanding of the expenditure, the disbursement, and a total report of the budget. So when the representatives take their budget and go up in the interior to speak to the people, they can have a definite knowledge of what to tell the people they can expect from the budget. But this is fraud. This is incompetence. This is dereliction of duty. This is the failed leadership. When you can't even do a budget proper, one of the senators got to stand up who knows better than the rest of the senators and tell them this thing ain't right. This is not a way to do the budget. We want itemized things. We want to know where our money going. We want to know how this money is going to be expended, distributed among the several counties of the Republic of Liberia, the districts. How are they going to be expended? Because if we don't do it, there's all we get. We took $10,000, we sent it this way, we did it, they will give us a verbal explanation that we're not satisfied. The budgetary allotment that is made for the good they want. So there will be no telling how many counties we will get. What? We wouldn't know if one county got more and other counties got less, or which few counties got benefited, which county didn't benefit. Because it's not an itemized budget. It's a lump sum budget. And that creates error for corruption, for stealing, for deception, for lies, for betrayal of the Liberian people. We can't go through this. We need professionals, man. We need people who are serious. People who understand the duties and responsibility for the position for which they're serving in. And if you can't handle the position, it's too bad, man, too bad. You got to step aside. If you think you'll get rich fast in that position, you got to be flogged and jailed. And let me tell you something. There's no shame in flogging prisoners. There's no shame in flogging prisoners. The only shame is not giving them a fair trial. The only shame is not giving them due process of the law. The only shame is not letting them present peers to present evidence in their own behalf. That's the only problem. If the processes of the conviction are not fair, are not just, are not in accordance with constitutional demands, how you flog the people? You can't flog them because when they're time, the people will flog you in a way. And as you know, they flog my pa. They strip him. They shot him. I'm not coming to revenge and bring that same plight upon myself. No. And now what I'm here for? I'm supposed to learn from my father so when I have the opportunity, I can change the direction of my country. Not to revenge against my people, not to kill my people, but to lift my people to another era of existence where we don't have to do kind of things. Where we can show discipline and it never occurs again that we will kill our people. Because our own children may end up being killed again. If there's another war, our own children will involve in the fighting. We can't do that. So as a nation of people, we got to profoundly change our nation and set our principles in stone so they will never be shaken or rocked or broken. No, they will be solid. And our children will have them to govern them and our society for eternity. And this is how people build nation, man. This is how people build substance from things they have and they want to see evolve into better things. And we don't understand these things. We fail time again. And if you don't want to get fed with me for teaching you the truth, you'll get vexed. If other people want to leave, let them leave. I got followers. I got people who want to be my friends. I got people who want to learn the truth. You know, people can't define me. I define myself. You can't say, because your father. No. I don't do that to other people. Look at all the people that murder our people. Look at Prince Johnson. You think I would care against his son? I'm not holding it against those children. They didn't do nothing wrong. Their father did. We punished their father. We don't go after the children. The children are Liberian people. They're entitled to everything Liberian children entitled to growth and development, and understand why it was necessary for the father and mother to pay the price that they pay to our society. We are not bandits. And Darrell Dillon were right. We are not gangsters. We are not lawless people. We are consciously thinking people. We are consciously living people. We are consciously serving people as patriots of our nation, as believers in our faith, and understanding that we can only change our things in our country if we believe in the higher God. If we say we are Christians, we must put all other gods aside. Especially our leaders must set example. Not be leaders of ritualistic killings. Not be leaders of drinking blood and sleeping with babies for voodoo power. We can't do that. All of us got problems. Because our nation over the years has always had problems. Societal problems, economic problems, political problems, every kind of problems we have. It's just that we're evolving all the time. So things were not fast, but things came slow. We were rolling slow, but sure. It was rolling slow, but sure. Then we started to rush the chain, turn the wheel faster. And we got into a revolution that we don't know how to get out of it. And many of the people who started the revolution died fighting to change the revolution, trying to change the path that they had no control over. But we can't continue on this path. We got to pull the brakes back. We got to pull the brakes back. Because we can't speed. Now that we come to our senses, we got a little bit peace and stability. We realize that our president and government are failures. And we want to rush past them to a better life. It can't happen like that. We still need education. We still need to change our society at a steady pace, not to overwhelm our people with hopes and dreams that we can't accomplish right now. But at least we can strive to do the things, what we can do with the little bit we have now, and what we can do to get our money back. Because we can't let these people just rip our country off like that. And we'll go around begging people. We'll be beggars forever. Ever. We can't be beggars forever. We got to take a stand sometimes. We got to tell our leaders, enough is enough. We're tired of begging. We want our money back. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, George Weah, all your officials of government, we want our money back. You got to bring our money back. So, like Ellen Cummings suggested, we need an audit of every ministry. But not just to know where we are, to know where our money is and how we can get it back from these people. When it was stolen, who was in charge and who was derelict in the performance of the duties. We got to go after these people. If we can't find them, we got to take their properties. Because nobody is entitled to steal the wealth of the Liberian Republic with impunity. The time of the Liberian people is here. It's upon us to change our country, to hold our leaders responsible and accountable. and not make excuses for them. Not always be there for peace sake. For coming to beg people. I told you, I'm not like other leaders. When people go to jail, you come to beg me, everybody will be flocked out of my yard. Everybody. This is no begging nation. This is the damn begging that be killing us. We beg in the government, we beg in the family, we beg the family come beg the government beg the family beg everybody, and we're just a bunch of beggars because we have no strong leaders. And we need strong leaders. And people can kill our leaders. Did they kill my grandfather? No, it was unfair. If we kill our own because our leaders want to change our country, and we know the things going in our country not right that needs to be changed. We want change, but we don't want to accept it. We want change, but we don't want to see it. We want change, but we think it's a joke. And when nothing is a joke, in the sight of Jesus, who gave us the power to do all these things we need to do. So that's my lesson. We got to take our destiny in our own hands. We got to be the masters of our faith. We got to be a captain of our destinies. And these things are divine. But if you don't have the understanding and the will to call on our God for it and understand who your God is, sit down and read the Bible. Sit down and understand. If you have questions, call people, ask them what this word means. How can I get up my strength by understanding this thing? You know, don't pass passages. Read everything. You got good stories there too. When you come to story, there'll be no begat. Forget about that other begat and Peter begat this, and that's Jewish history. You don't really need to learn it because in the whole scheme of things, you just have to learn the life stories. What is Genesis trying to say? What is Exodus trying to say? What is Numbers? What is Deuteronomy? What all the things in the Bible is trying to say and guide you towards. Okay? And once you do all of that, you have done your duty as a Christian. You have read the Bible once in your lifetime. And that's a duty. If God gave us this magnificent book of his teaching and grace, and we can't read it once in our lifetime, how will we prove our faith and blessing? We got to read it. Even if it took a year or 2 years, take your time and read the Bible. Fulfill your Christian duty. So when people are talking, you're not oblivious to the things you see. You don't think they're coming from space, or they were there when Jesus was there, so this must be spirit or something. Gather your thoughts. Let's work together to change our society and community. Okay? My class is done. Aluta. Continue. Have a good day.
This is your own boy, DJ Weah. I'm back with reality. Yo, we are suffering off. You need to step down. Commander, we are step down. You're suffering too much. You need to step down. Step down. The country gets here. You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down. Nowhere to go. You need to step down. Somebody we are step down. No money in the bank. You need to step down. Don't forget to step down. For overtaking people. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. To get full of war. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. Liberian people suffering. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. Everything la propos. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. We now get hospital. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. We now get good school. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. No economy for children. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. No good company. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. You working, you get to pay. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. Every day you get pay. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. No justice for the poor. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. Every day women repeat. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. Because they get power. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. You're suffering poor people. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. Retire, report for you need to step down. Comfortable, step down. You say you former player. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. No football academy. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. People dying every day. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. JFK to Park. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. Education very poor. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. You don't have a feeling. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. No good healthcare. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. You know I seen the truth. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. Want to get here? Want to get here? Everybody go you crazy. We tire with Weah. We tire with fucking pro. Back a woman suffering. Them rather suffering. You can rather suffering. Yana boy suffering. Want to get here? Every day. No more Galpohkpa. No more fucking pro. You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. Yo, we are suffering off. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. You're suffering too much. You need to step down. Oh my goodness, step down. You want to get here? You need to step down. Commander Weah, step down. Nowhere to go. You need to step down. Comfortable, step down. No money in the bank. You need